You waffle.
Oh, stop! Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. On today's episode, we took Alwyn down to Garry to talk through electrics and try and understand a little bit more about what was actually going on because we didn't have a clue.
We've actually realised that we actually should have listened to Holly's dad at the start, so apologies, Chris. And as you just saw from that first initial clip there, I go a little bit crazy with
Sledgehammer.
So all that is coming up on today's episode.
But before we go any further, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and press that big red subscribe button down below. Honest to God, 12 hours per day, all weekend. We had to buy a big gazebo for the garden to be out there as hell.
How long?
12 hours a day, you wouldn't believe it. It was trying to curve that round the... because Mr. Perfectionist here needed it to curve.
240
Yeah.
to your RCT, to your battery charger, to your batteries. They're not very big batteries by the look at it, are they? From your solar panel, to your solar controller, to your batteries. From your engine battery, to your beta charger, to your batteries. From your batteries to your inverter, from your inverter to your power sockets,
Yeah.
and also from there to any 12 volt things that we're going to put in there, like USB, cigarette lighter, sockets, etc.
Perfect.
As simple as that.
So that was Garry telling us all about the electrics and explaining it. I mean, we still don't understand properly, but one thing he did say was...
we actually really need to do the units all over again. He was basically saying the wood that we used was probably the wrong wood, it was too heavy, and you know what, it's not the first person to say that we'd used the wrong wood, because when Holly showed her dad on the phone the other day, he literally almost had a go at us saying that we'd used the wrong wood.
It was going to be just a bit too heavy, so we're going to redo them this weekend. That's our plan. So we've got new, better wood that's a lot thinner, so we're going to just redo them. And we've actually come up with a new plan. We want to change the style of the bigger unit anyway, so maybe it's a blessing.
But let's actually test out the difference in the actual weight of this wood. It's not as rough, it's not the type of wood that we were going for, but it's much lighter, it's much thinner, so hopefully it'll just make the van much lighter. So this is the new wood that we've got, okay? As you can see, it's way thinner, and it weighs a lot less as well. So let's get it all out of the van and start building it into the shape, into the new unit that we want.
So this is the old unit that we made that was far too heavy. As you can see, it's got the doors on the front, and then this part pulls down here, and it was going to be like a table, but in the new build we're literally just going to chop it about here, keep the doors on the front, and then have like a worktop on the top that we can use to work on. We decided we don't really need all this bit, it just adds the extra weight, so we've got the smaller wood to just remake it at a better height. So I'll just show you quickly the difference in the old frame wood and the new frame wood that we've got. So this is what we used to build the cupboard, to sort of try and make it as secure as possible, but it's really heavy. I mean, this little bit weighs probably more than this like 8-foot bit that we've got here, and this is going to be the new frame size. So if you compare, they're still the same thickness, but that one's just a lot thicker, which just added so much to the weight that we didn't actually need. I think we went overboard on the frame as well as the wood on the outside. So this is the frame wood, and I'll show you the cladding wood now. So as you can see, we made all of this out of this sawn treated green wood. We didn't actually realise it's for outdoor stuff, so this is probably what your fences will be made of. So we went totally wrong with this one, and it's really heavy, whereas the new piece is a lot more. This is for indoors, it's a lot lighter. Garry was saying that you should basically be able to just pick the units up quite easily on your own, whereas it took two of us to really struggle to get this one out. So we sort of knew as we were putting it in the van we'd gone quite wrong, but we're going to give it all a try with this. We'll still be able to paint it all the nice colours as well, so hopefully it won't look too far off what we want.
So because when we built the last one, we were just chopping away with wood, not really knowing what we're doing, but this time we're making sure every single piece is cut perfectly, because this wood is way more expensive than that green wood Holly was just talking to you about, so each chop has to be perfect, otherwise it's going to cost a fortune.
And we've got the last of this wood, so there's no room for mistake.
Okay, so now we've hit a bit of a problem. You can see the brackets here go nicely from this piece of wood to this piece of wood. The only thing is though, this piece of wood is a lot further in compared to this side because of this divot here in the floor. So we're going to put these bolts in, but we're going to put them in from this side so it goes in nicely. But the thing is, these stretch further out than the piece of wood. So we're going to have to get the angle grinder out now. Finally get to use it again, lovely. And chop the top of it off so it doesn't protrude too far out, because obviously when it protrudes too far out, it's stuck against the man. Okay, so before we use it, remember health and safety. Got my safety gloves on, got the safety glasses on as well, and we just need to cut just above this second hole here. So let's give it a go. Maybe that was across the second hole. That'll have to do.
So we finally have the frame for the second cupboard. We've built these nice little shelves on here. We're currently just doing the shelf in the middle. So we've just done all the measurements. Dave's just going to chop down the middle. We're just using this bit of ply, which looks decent for what it's going to be. It's not going to hold much.
So Holly got to use a jigsaw for the first time. How was it, Holly?
Yeah, it's alright. I don't know how straight it is, but...
So here you go, the finished article. We've got a nice cupboard down here. We've got the worktop on top. We now need to figure out how we're going to put doors on the whole thing, because it doesn't really fit. It's quite close. When you pull it out, it's going to catch. So we're not sure we're going to have to do 4 doors maybe. I'm not sure about that. So today hopefully is going to be the last day we're going to be working on the bits that we need to do, and it just feels like there seems to be a job or a new job every time. So we went to B&Q earlier. We've got a load more wood to be able to build the door fronts to that new cabinet that we built. But after we got the wood, we went to get some food somewhere, so we bought some takeaway. We took some plates with us because it was already planned. But then when we got in, the bit that we've built, the worktop, it's just not big enough. So I think we're going to have to make a longer version, because when we pull the bed out so we can sit on it, my knees will have to be inside the cupboard, so we have to pull it out more so my knees are not inside the cupboard, and it just feels like there's literally a job or new job every single minute. That is the new unit. The only thing we need to do now is find out how we can keep these permanently shut, and also how we can find to keep this permanently shut as well. At the minute it's just held in by a cord. But yeah, when we pull this out, there's a jam on the end, so it stops at that point there. And then to make sure nothing falls down the back, we've got an extra little piece just to fit in. That fits in nicely there. So worktop, eating top for everything.
Should we go back to B&Q? So we just got back from B&Q. We had to pick up a few more paints because obviously the other one is going to get broken up, and we used a lot of the paint on that unit. So we've still got some of the cornflower, we've got some of the purple that we bought last time, but we picked up this sage green and a nice slate grey. And as you can see from here, we're just going to paint. So I'll do a quick example of what the colours look like and the vision we're going for. The only thing I did notice with this paint is obviously this is outdoor paint and this wood is indoor wood, so it doesn't go on as well as it did with the wood that was actually meant to go outside. So we're just gonna have to do a few coats, I think, and then see how they turn up. But I really like these colours and I thought they'd look quite homely inside the van once it's all finished. So yeah, there are the colours. We're going to sort of mix and match. I was going to go for quite uniform last time, but we've got so much wood I don't think we're going to now, so I'm just going to sort of do maybe 2 coats of one and then 2 coats of another and just see how it ends up. Feels like it's been a never-ending paint job because there's so much to paint and it takes so many layers, but it will be worth it when it's done. So that is it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to click that big red subscribe button and give us a thumbs up.
On next week's episode, we're going to be taking the van down to Garry. Gary's hopefully going to put the electrics into the side of this and connect all it up so we can power the laptops. We're going to IKEA on Monday. We're going to buy we've ordered a double mattress.
And we're going to cut it up and hopefully make a mattress for our bed in here.
And as you're going to see in the next clip, just before we finish, you're going to see why me and Holly go a little bit crazy, or what we actually do when we go a little bit crazy with the sledgehammer. But again, thanks for watching. We appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, and we'll speak to you all very soon. Cheers.
We must have made this well because it is not budging.